Alright, we're recording. It is Avatar Legends, The Blooming Lotus, Episode 3, The Mark. Who would like to give the recap?
Is the Mark the title of this episode?
The Mark is the title of this episode.
Sounds fancy. Sounds like you have plans.
The title of last episode was Spirits.
Yeah. So, last episode we were having a meeting of the newly formed Red Lotus cell in Naopi, and we detected an interloper hiding outside, right outside the window, listening in. And it turned out to be Jishin, who wanted to join our group, and so we allowed him to do so. We were discussing what to do about Gunshaw's promise to let his prisoners go and begin to have more of a dialogue with people in the town, when all hell seemed to break loose outside, and we heard screaming. We saw some sort of dark spirit attacking someone on the street. So a few of us ran after the dark spirit, although by the time we arrived there, it became clear that there was in the town square, or some at least open space in the town, even more dark spirits knocking down buildings and attacking people. So Gage, my character, instead of helping the one person being attacked by one stray spirit, diverted towards the center of town and just assumed that the other people following would help out this person, which they did. And I forget who exactly. I assume it was Tony's character, whose name I'm blanking on.
Ura.
Yeah, Ura. I think Jijin was going in to hit this one dark spirit, and Ura was going in to hit this one dark spirit, and between the two of them, they wound up burst through a window where there was a family inside, and Ura Shikshin followed it in. Meanwhile, in the town center, there were these giant spirit platypus bears that were knocking over buildings, who weren't immediately so much of a threat. The immediate threat was the spirits that were flying around dive bombing people. So it was essentially initially just Gage trying to distract them so that people could get away, and just ignoring the platypus bears for the moment. Eventually, I also forget Peter's character's name.
Sakshik.
Yeah, Sakshik. Sakshik came in that direction, not initially to my character's aid, but more looking to find his ward and make sure she was safe. But my character assumed he was coming to help him deal with this threat. Then he ran past me and out the other side of the square.
That was pretty funny.
But Sakshik did quickly return once he discovered his ward was safe for the moment. And stepped in between my character and a bunch of dark spirits that were about to pummel me, so took the attack for me there. Meanwhile, they dealt with a spirit that was the one lone spirit off to the side that was attacking the guy, and so everybody now was more or less in the square dealing with this ball of spirits that were dive bombing people. So we managed to do enough damage to them. I don't know if they ran off or faded or what. I don't remember exactly. I remember we hit them enough times that we sort of we ameliorated the problem that was going on. But then we were left sort of looking at the platypus bears, who were now paying more attention to us, but seemed a little more amenable to just talking it through. And Shikshin wound up being taken on some sort of spirit quest where he was having visions of something that we couldn't see, and one of the platypus bears carved some sigil in the street that my character saw as faintly glowing, and Ura saw as brightly glowing, and Shijin and Sakchik didn't see any light coming from at all. But I will let Mike describe the vision that Shikshin saw.
I honestly don't remember.
It had something to do with like there was like a cave, and it was a very scary cave,
Yeah.
and
So
there was then like a discussion of how the spirits might be in a cave near where they were digging out latrines for the military base. And so Woodall was like, "We should go there," and Mike Head was like, "Yeah, we should go there." Chisholm was like, "Fuck that, I'm not going there."
I remember now. It's all coming back.
yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, regarding the vision. Yeah, Jijin was in the middle of like a lush kind of prairie area. It was like very vibrant. That was fairly obvious, even if you've never seen the world before. Like it had all the hallmarks of it, and they were,
Well, also at this point, I mean, this is after Chorus, so there's somewhat of a fusion in some places between the spirit world and the regular world. So I imagine it's pretty common to see the difference and know it.
yeah,
And this is also after, from the prior session, we had learned that spirits were attacking farms, and it was creating supply line issues for the military, which is why the military was leaning more heavily on the town's resources. So I assume it's all related. Oh, I did forget that the platypus bears at one point basically said that this town is now theirs, and that we should like basically just get out.
yep, yeah. They said this town is ours, um, and they walked out. It was more of a swagger than a walk when they left. After they carved the mark into the ground. Um, but
Another important piece to note is in Zhijin's uh, vision, he saw a monkey that turned around and no face.
yeah, and he heard a like a disembodied voice coming from the cave, the dark, like the darkness, that said it's coming. Um, so yeah, at the end, so after that, Zhizhen uh, intelligently asked, "Hey, where are all the soldiers that were here? Like, weren't they supposed to be protecting the town?" And uh, about then, you see a soldier rushed into town, who was out of breath, uh, and he mentioned that the encampment was destroyed. There were several platypus bears and a host of other dark spirits that effectively shredded the camp. Uh, there were no one died, but there were a lot of injuries. Um, I believe Sakshik was immediately worried. It was Sakshik, or there was immediate worry about the prisoners that were taken, the hostages, and they turned up. So they were in shackles, and they were able to escape in the chaos. And Sakshik was they asked Sakshik to take off their platinum shackles, um, like he did with Kaya. Uh, the soldier the soldier that ran in, what he mentioned that he was gonna go check on the mayor. And so about this point, it's nine. It's about 9 o'clock in the evening. You're around. This is like during the day, but this is how I imagine um, Naopi to look like. Um, So it's about 9 o'clock in the evening. You're all standing in the center of town, in the square, and several buildings have been reduced to rubble. A handful of others are partially caved in. You're the soldier that just ran up to you guys ran off, and they're heading towards the only building in town that's or heading towards one of the taller buildings, which is where the city hall is.
What? So, and I think I remember Jijin he's been living here for a little bit. What is his impression of the leader? It's a mayor.
Yeah, the mayor.
So what is his impression, or what would he know about the mayor?
Uh, Jijin knows that the mayor is he's very interested in minimizing problems. Um, he tends to be long-winded and chatty, uh, and a kind of an anxious person. But he isn't he isn't like Jijin would know he's not bad or malevolent or has necessarily an ill intent. By accounts, people generally seem to be amenable to his leadership, despite not really liking his dinner parties.
So at that, Zijin looks at the group after that soldier says that he's going to check on the mayor. And he says, the mayor might have some more information about what's going on. He might maybe he knows what happened or what's caused this. Might be a good idea to follow the soldier and kind of see what we can find out.
I suppose we could try to gain some intelligence from this mayor. But as far as I'm concerned, he's a petty functionary propping up the oppressive system, holding the people down. So he's not
No
really
doubt, no doubt.
trusted. So we can follow after the soldier.
Okay. So you make your way towards the city hall, or the town hall rather. It's the only two-story building in town, ish. And you see the soldier standing at the door. It's ajar, and you see a face kind of peeking through. And this is what it looks like.
And what's his name?
His name's Mayor Bota.
Mayor Bota.
I will type it in the Foundry chat. So you see the two of them conversing, and as you get closer, he says, "Are you here? Well, Gun Shah's gonna pay for this. He's supposed to be protecting this town." But sir, Mr. Mayor, our forces were decimated. Our buildings were decimated. Our townsfolk are not safe. They've gone missing. Where are they? Have you done a head count? No, we're scattered, replies the soldier. I imagine you guys are coming up like right about then. and
Yeah.
he turns. The mayor kind of cocks his head around the soldier, says, "Hoy! Who are you? Yeah. I don't think I've seen you around here before."
We're just trying to figure out what's going on. There are all these spirits that came and attacked.
I'll tell you what's going on. This knucklehead's leader has riled up the dark spirits, and this is what we get. Look, I need some help. I need to know if anyone's gone missing. I need to do a proper head count. It sounds like if you can, I would appreciate if you could go around the town and see if you at least give the all clear. We are all clear, right? As he turns back to the soldier, kind of glaring at him.
Well, it was we who dispersed the group of spirits in the town square. But there was at least one off to the side. I don't know if they've all fled or not. So there could still be stray spirits here or there, though it looks like the main mass of them was chased off. You should know they did say that this town is now theirs and that the people should just get out. That sounds to me like they're going to be coming back. It also sounds to me just as likely that perhaps the mining is what angered the spirits. Though I guess they did attack the military camp too, so perhaps it was both the town and the military camp that they're opposed to.
I think it's a good idea that we check and see if anybody's missing, but Mayor, some coin might be a nice little thing to incentivize a good job. Vision is, he's always got to think about the profit.
Of course. Let's just check something.
I would look at Cision and say, blood money.
He'll spend.
I suppose we could take it and then give it back to the people who they took it from.
Sure. In exchange for, goods and services.
I mean, this is sort of kind of akin to like a plead attempt.
Yeah, this is what I think this is a
Although
plead.
from my perspective, it's more like a trick attempt. We're trying to get the tax money back from the tax man.
I think this sounds closer to a plead than a trick, but I can see that interpretation. So, and Mayor Aboda does care what you think, since he asked for your help. So, why don't you roll a harmony roll, Zhizhen?
All right. Harmony. Looks like a miss.
So, Boda kind of narrows his eyes and says, trying to grift me at a time like this when the people are in need? Son, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Who do you think you are?
Shame doesn't really care if you're hungry, though. And guys gotta eat. Look, we're in a disaster right now. I understand that there's people that might need saving, or that we need to figure out if anybody's been taken or whatever. But I mean, still, you can't expect somebody to do something for free. We're not your servants. We could just decide to run.
Then I'll have to get these knuckleheads.
And look at how inept they've been. I mean, they can't even protect the town. You think they can do a proper head count? Come on now.
Let me see something. Vision. Well, you are right about that. Fine, I'll give you a 100 woo bucks.
At a real currency.
I don't know if they actually have a currency, but I like to think that all of the coins have Prince Wu's or King Wu's face on it. At
Okay.
least this time period. And since you failed, or since you missed the roll rather, and it's more for in the kind of spirit with survival, Zhizhen can shift their balance one towards survival. Yeah, so you want to shift like this, like the center. The center is they are different. So like this I'm looking at your character sheet. The center diamond is like where your balance starts, and that should be at the middle point. When you're shifting your balance, you're shifting like one of the two red circles.
Right, but my balance shifted last session towards friendship.
Yeah.
So now it's back in the middle.
Yeah, so now it should be at the middle. So all of the things should be in the middle. So like it should have looked like this. I should have pointed that out. It should have looked like this before with the with the diamond.
Okay, so then the diamond is something different.
Yeah, so if your balance shifts off the track, then the diamond moves in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Peter.
Hey, what's up?
You win?
That was more
No.
like 9.2 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you win?
No, we stunk it up.
No.
Sounds like it wasn't even close.
No, it was like 10-2 or something.
Oof.
Yeah. Our 7-game winning streak had to come to an end or something.
Mm.
Did you?
That's still a pretty impressive streak.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's more baseball games than I've ever won.
So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We got 5 games left before the playoffs.
Nice.
So with that win streak, are you guys on track for playoff contention?
I think everybody makes the playoff. It's kind of like a round robin thing.
Gotcha. Is it round robin, so like whoever wins the most?
Yeah, I'm guessing, since I think it's an odd number of teams, probably the team that is number 1 will get a pass, and then everybody else has to like play a turn, go through the playoff, and then they reset everything.
So does Saksha have any fatigue?
Okay, let's see here. I want to say I'm not looking at the character sheet this second, but I want to say yes.
He's got 1 fatigue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then I would, as Saksha sort of wanders up, we're having a conversation with the mayor. I would punch Saksha in the shoulder and say, "What the hell's wrong with you? Stepping in front of the spirits like that. You could have been killed. You're a valuable member of this team, and you need to take better care of yourself." And that is me providing guidance and comfort. As I have a feature called "I Don't Hate You," where I awkwardly provide guidance and comfort.
Okay.
That's amazing.
And I get to roll it with passion. Oh, that was not great. Oh well.
I thought my fatigue was leaving.
So, let's see. How does Sakshik respond to just being berated by Gage out of nowhere?
Considering my conditions, I'm probably thinking I deserve it. Because right now I have guilt and afraid, so I'm figuring I probably deserve whatever I got.
Yeah, this is one of the weird ones where if you fail the check, there's no downside. But if you make the check, then they can either embrace the guidance and comfort or reject it.
So, this is something that I made sure that I did research on. So anything in this game, and any Powered by the Apocalypse game, if there's not any specified criteria for like a failure, I have a list of things called GM moves, and basically anytime there's a miss and it isn't specified what happens, then it's like GM discretion on it. So, for example, Zhizhen missed on his plead roll, and so one of the GM moves is to shift balance.
I see.
So, if Zhizhen, or rather, if Sakshik thinks that he deserves it, I give you the choice to either mark a fatigue, like making you tired, or a condition. If there's a condition that you think would apply here, like insecure or troubled, maybe.
I think I will take another fatigue. I don't need any more condition.
Well, Sakchik, wait, how do you pronounce it? Sakchik or Shakcha or
It's Sakshik.
Sakchik? Sakchik. Sakchik. The mayor just offered us some money to go and do a head count, see if there's anybody missing.
But where?
In the town.
All we have to do is count.
Yeah, just
I
make
don't.
sure
I don't think
everybody's here,
they
I
want
guess.
the number. I think they want a report of who's missing.
Yeah, there's comers and goers in the town. So the exact number is it's not a precise one, but if you run across anybody that and they indicate that others are missing, then that would be
So-
valuable information to know.
Were any buildings actually knocked down?
Yeah, there were several in like the main square that were leveled.
So we should probably go check there first, as there could be people still buried in the rubble if they didn't get out in time. So that's where I'm headed.
Okay. Are you all going to travel together, or are you going to split up?
I mean, I would suggest that if people are missing, it's probably people from where the spirits were attacking. I mean, probably many people, I guess, ran off when the spirits started attacking and so got away from the center of town. It'll probably take a while for everybody to filter back and for us to even to begin to figure out who's missing as opposed to who temporarily fled. But, the immediate need, I suspect, is for anybody who was, might have fled but is now buried under the rock. Because I assume all of the houses in this town in an earthbending place are made of rock.
Yep.
Or at least mud.
Yeah, they're all made of earth and stone.
All right, let's check out some of the broken houses. We could have just made this easy for ourselves. We could have just gone door to door, got an easy hundo.
Oh, we'll still have to go door to door if we want to figure out who's missing at some point. But if there are people buried underneath this rubble, probably other people are going to report them as missing.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go get that done then.
And if you see anybody, if you see anybody if you can see people, let them know that the spirits are gone. There might be people people in the town who still think we're being under attack. So it'd be good to at least assuage their concern, at least for the present.
But like I said, the spirit said to get out. So we'd be giving them a false sense of hope.
Look, son,
we tell them everything's fine.
I've got a plan, and that's a tomorrow problem. If you come back after you come back with a report on anyone who's missing, I'd like to invite you all to dinner tomorrow.
So yeah, we should get started.
Yeah, Zhizhen kind of looks at the group like hesitantly at that one. Even does like a subtle kind of that throat like no don't.
You're muted, Kurt. So you guys are heading towards the center, heading back towards the knockdown buildings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you head back towards center, towards the center of town. In front of you, you see you can count at least 7 buildings that have been completely leveled, and you start digging through. The piles. You find various personal effects and furniture that's been splintered.
Was this like a nice part of town?
Yeah, this would be like, this is kind of the area where most people congregate. So like the houses here are a little bit nicer than like the area where you're staying with Taka.
I see. So, yeah, as we do this then, since these are basically the, like, relatively well-to-do people, if I see anything valuable, this stuff I don't mind pocketing.
Okay.
Stick it to the bourgeoisie.
That's right. They
Yeah.
will unknowingly be supporting the Red Lotus with their donations.
Yeah, I would say I'd say that no one's really batting an eye on anyone who's kind of looting, or they would nobody really batting an eye if you're like picking through and you take a few things. Um, that's just really it's nighttime and it's also just not the focus. Um,
And I would be, calling out to see if I can hear anyone in the rubble. So that is legitimately the main focus.
um, so uh, you're in these and as you're digging through some of these buildings, yeah, you don't hear anybody calling out. Um, you found you found uh, you find at least one body of someone. Um, it appears to be a middle-aged man, uh, kind of similar garb that you've seen around. He doesn't. So you find one body. Uh, you start getting to as you're digging through a uh, the like this one of the other houses. You look over and you hear some whimpering, and there's a structure. Maybe 20 feet away. The house looks like it's been partially, uh, partially destroyed, as in like three of the wall or like three of the walls are like well, two and a half of the walls are intact. Um, and you see through like the open wall, uh, a like a girl and a young boy. Um, they look like they're about like she's about 12 and the boy is maybe 6. They're cowering in the corner. You notice that the building itself doesn't appear to be structurally sound.
Hey kids, where are your parents? Make your way over to me.
They look around. They're like, my mom. Er, they seem kind of almost paralyzed, in fear. Like their feet won't move.
Look, I'm here to help you find your parents again, but I need you to just, edge your way over towards me so we can get you out of what's left of this building. Then we'll go find your parents. Come on.
That sounds like a plead.
I was thinking more of a trick.
Because you're not really gonna
Saying
help
that
them find their parents.
gonna help them find their parents who I think are probably dead.
Uh, that's fair. We can roll with trick. So yeah, roll with creativity.
How does it look imminent that the building might collapse?
Um, it doesn't look like it's gonna collapse right this second. But you wouldn't imagine that it would take much to have it go tumbling down.
How far in the building are they?
They are like kind of huddled in the back corner. They appear to be like there's a fireplace in this building, and they're like in the fireplace.
So does it look like the chimney made it? Is there a chimney or
There
no?
is a chimney. Yeah, part of the chimney's been lopped off. So there's like kind of there are some bricks missing from the top. But yeah, so yeah, it looks like the chimney's been at least affected to some degree. Um, uh, Gage, they say, my mom fought off one of those flying things. They looked, they were awful. I just saw her run away. Can you go find her? I think she went, she went that way, and he points. Uh, and like in the direction that he's pointing is the direction uh, for the direction that the woman that you guys originally came from, like the from Taka's.
Hey kids, your mom sounds really brave, but let's go and find her together. Come on, and Jijin will get as close as he feels he can safely and kind of hold out his hand.
All right. Make a plead roll.
Okay. So is that just harmony again?
Yeah, it's harmony.
Oh.
Nice.
Full hit.
Okay. And they seem they've seen you around before, Jijin, since you live here. Like they kind of recognize you, so they feel a little bit more comfortable. So as you hold out your hand, uh, the girl reaches out and grabs it, and then she's holding on to the boy. My name's and she pipes up. Once they're out of the house. My name's Kaki, and this is Feng.
Hi, Kaki.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Jijin, and you're really brave to take care of your brother like you are.
Oh,
Um,
well, Mom said I was in charge until she got back.
that's a good, good job. So let's go and find your mom now. Where did you say she went off to?
She went. She went off. Oh, I think she went that way, and she's pointing away to the south.
Did she say where she was going?
I just saw her fighting, and throwing things at one of those flying creatures. And well, they were attacking all of us, but then she managed to distract them, and then it only started attacking her, and I didn't want her to go, but I didn't really have much of a choice. She just took off running and got them. What's the word? Uh, drove them, drove them away, or distracted them away. We can.
It sounds like your mom cares about you very much to protect you like that.
Are they gone?
They're gone.
Are you gonna find everybody else's mommy?
That hits Zhizhen right in the feels. And he says, "We're gonna do the best we can."
Okay. Well, let's go. And they just kind of wait, and they will follow your lead.
Okay. And the boy is like 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So Zhizhen is gonna reach out his hand to the boy and offer to pick him up and carry him.
The boy doesn't say anything. But when you offer, like when you like reach out, he he like grabs and kind of grabs it. He opens his arm so you can scoop him up. He's pretty light. He doesn't weigh very much at all, and he's gripping fairly tightly around Zhizhen's neck.
All right. Let's go find your mom. So yeah, I would start heading in the direction that they said their mom went.
Okay, so you start heading south, and you're following the path. I'd say it's gonna be pretty tough. So like, what is Zhizhen? What is Zhizhen? Is he just kind of looking around? Is everybody going? Is everybody following in tow? So what?
Actually, I probably would go back to clearing rubble.
Okay.
I know that it takes a crowd to find this kid's mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
I mean, I could see one of us going with them because this woman was chasing spirits away, so there could be trouble. And Chizhen has to fight with like a kid around his neck.
Oh, he'll drop that fucker like a bag of concrete.
I thought it would be funny if you're like, yeah, this kid is pretty heavy.
This kid's a...
Blunt damage.
take you pick him up, take 1 fatigue.
Oof. Oh.
Too much rice.
These bourgeois kids eat well.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll follow Zhizhen, Gaki, and Feng as they head south. Zhizhen, what are you specifically like? What are you going to be doing to kind of look for their mom?
Well, first I'm going to be asking the kids, what does she look like? What's her name? And then I'd probably start calling out for their mom's name.
Her name is Iki. She's beautiful. Brown hair. Um, she kind of looks like me, but bigger, like an adult.
Okay. Is there anybody with your mom?
No, it's just been us for as long as I can remember.
Okay, but nobody else went in the same direction that you saw?
Uh, I'm sure there were others running, but I didn't notice any. It was all happened so fast. Like one minute we were having dinner, and the next there was platypus bears just rampaging through town.
You're doing a great job. That's plenty of information. And then Jijin would start calling out Iki or Iki or whatever her name.
Iki.
Yeah. And then I'd also be like shouting, "Has anybody seen Iki?"
So you're calling out, and the kids seeing that you're doing this, start imitating you, like kids tend to do, and they start also yelling out for their mom's name, and you reach, you reach the end of the street, and like in front of you, you have. In front of you is kind of just empty field. And you can't see that far. The moon is like a half moon tonight, so it's not well illuminated. Um,
Does Shock Chick have like a flashlight? Something similar.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. A flashlight item.
yeah, you'd have something to have some sort of something that you could provide illumination. But basically, you get to the end of the street, and you don't see any women or anybody really, and the kids are like, oh, maybe she left, maybe she ran out. But maybe we could check, let me see if we missed any of the houses.
Okay, does your mom have any friends that she might go to?
Well, she does like to talk to Lori a lot. They do laundry together.
Good. Why don't we go find Lori then?
Oh, I know where Lori lives. And they start guiding you through the streets to another house that looks just like all the others. And they knock on the door, and a woman answers and says, Gaki, Feng, so glad you're safe. And then she looks up at you. And who are you? Seem familiar.
Yeah, you might have seen me around. I'm Jijin. We're looking for their parents. Iki? She been here?
Oh, no, I haven't seen her, but I I did I did hear is everyone in town okay?
Well, that's one of the things we're trying to find out.
And you notice like this particular area it doesn't seem like it's been hit really
Like, at all?
at all. Yeah.
Um, did you guys have any spirits come out here?
No, they're, I heard the screams, and I ran out to check, and I ran out to see what they were, and just returned right back inside. But yeah, they never came down here.
Well, you guys are very lucky.
Well, if Iki is missing, uh, I can go. I can go and see if I can find her. I would have a better chance of knowing where she'd be at.
Okay. Can you take take these children, or are you going to be looking by yourself?
Come with me, children. Well, let's go find Mom.
How do the kids seem about going with this person?
They seem delighted.
Okay.
And they shuffle and they shuffle in their house, and the door is closed. And you hear them talking on the inside.
Okay.
Sakshik, were you accompanying Zhizhen with the flashlight? Or were you digging through rubble with Gage?
Yeah, I'm with Gage.
Okay. So sifting through, you managed to find 3 more bodies, towards the bottom of the different houses. And you bring them out, or I imagine you find them and you can bring them out,
Yeah.
so that they're in view. They don't seem like they all seem like, there's nothing like distinguishing. It doesn't look like they're like all from a particular caste or social class, or they're like any like specific marks about them.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, you'd also find. I think you would also find. You'd be able to lift some pottery and some art, some things that you could turn around and sell, if you needed to, and or barter with. There were food stores. Um, there were food stores as well. And while a lot of it's kind of crumbled, if you wanted to, you could collect the food. Um,
Yeah, I would do that.
and Peter, or Sakshik doesn't one of his Sakshik's moves or techniques have something along the lines of collecting hold? Or like you have gears.
Um, what do you mean?
Some of your, maybe your techniques, I don't know if it's your techniques or moves, but some of the moves you were looking at said that you could bend gears to get different effects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the ones you chose actually have gears, so that was
Right. Yeah,
just.
I don't.
But you'd find also, various various knickknacks that you think could be valuable in making stuff, making technical implements.
I like to think at some point Oda was like, I'm an old man and sleepy. I'm going home. And then he just left.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll say it. Ura did do that. That's in character for him, and that sounds about right. Oh, I'll leave the body digging, the body finding to the younger folk who are more built for this sort of thing.
Yeah, after hauling all the bodies out, I will probably note like that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of other people helping.
True.
Um, yeah, in as you're kind of working, people are starting to file back into town, or starting to file back in, um, uh, towards the buildings that have been leveled. In particular, you see one person. He appears to be wearing he's wearing a robe, with sleeves, and he's got a gray beard that kind of glints. He's holding a torch. It kind of glints in the torchlight, and his hair is pulled back into a bun. And he appears to be he's leading four others. Four others. And he goes up to you. He goes up to you, Gage, digging out the rubble, and he says, "Hi, I'm Master Puhan. I run the Earthbending School. Are you an Earthbender? We need some help rebuilding, or at least putting up some temporary structures that people that have been displaced could move into."
Yeah, I'm not an earthbender, which is why I'm digging up the rubble with my hands. Could probably use your help in making sure there's not somebody alive under all this mess.
He turns to look, and to those with him. He says, "Well, you heard him. Let's clear this out." And they disperse to the other buildings, and they start earthbending away the rocks, and kind of spreading them out and moving them around. Sakshik, you recognize this person.
Okay.
You when you went to go check on Kaya,
Okay.
this was the person that was leaving the house.
Oh, okay.
And during that they did not see you, because you passed the roll. So yeah, they don't
Okay.
recognize you, but you recognize
Okay.
them. So they start clearing away the rubble, and there aren't any other bodies that are found underneath it, but at least makes the houses a little bit clearer.
I would start asking whoever I see on the street. I mean, I assume it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at this point. But anybody I see on the street, I would start asking, um, is there anybody they have who's unaccounted for, and does anybody know who these three dead people are to the extent they're identifiable?
You person's walking past, kind of listless, kind of zoned out. Um, I guess in shock is the word. They're in shock, and they kind of shake their head and look down at the bodies, and they say, "Oh, this is. It looks like Relor," as he points towards the middle-aged man, and this looks like Bun and Mita. I don't recognize the other one though. They don't look like they're. I don't recognize them. They don't look like they're from around here. They must have been passing through.
Where do you live?
He looks over at one of the houses that is currently in rubble. That one of the earthbenders is moving. He's like, "Well, I lived there."
Is there anyone in your family or anybody who is staying there that you don't know where they are? We're trying to get a sense of who may be missing. We don't know what the spirits did to people, if anybody has been taken by the spirits or just run off.
No, I'm a bachelor. Always have been. It's just better that way. And well, I knew this block. Well, there is looking down at the bodies. Is like, I'd expect to see at least 5 more between all of these houses, all of the houses I can see that have been knocked down. Probably have to send a wider search party for them. Maybe they've went and hidden in one of the other houses. I was hiding in one. I don't know. Something came through the window, and I just ran upstairs.
Do you have a place you could stay tonight? Because obviously, your house is probably not going to be the best place for you.
He's weighing his options. Well, I guess I could go stay with the mayor, but then I'd have to go to a dinner party. But it seems like it seems like these are hard times, so got to do what you got to do. Do you have a place
you
to
could
stay?
stay here. I'm not staying in my own place, so I can't really offer up my host's home. He already has like 5 people who are going to be staying in his small little shack. But at least I don't have to stay with the mayor.
Well, if you see anyone else that's comes this way, and this is one of their houses, just send them over to the mayor's. It's
I
better
will do
than.
that gladly.
And he kind of trudges off. His head hanging a bit low.
So I'm going to continue to do that just with anybody I happen to see, just trying to see if they know of anybody who's missing, and trying to keep track of like any names of people who seem to be missing. I mean, obviously we've got the bodies; those people are gone.
Yeah.
Or any more information about, like he said, 5 or so people who he would expect would also be in the area.
Yeah.
If anybody saw them after the attack, that sort of thing.
So three people do come back, and uh, they'll give you the account of like who lives there, um, and so you're awaiting two more, and they do not show. Um, and I'd say, you could wait there, you know. I would say they're not gonna they won't show.
Right.
So there's
So
two
we
missing.
found three bodies,
You
and then there
found,
are two people missing, and then the kid's mother is still missing.
yeah.
So three dead and three missing. So when Vision gets back, in the meantime, any of the other people, I will say, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go stay with the mayor. And
They
send them
all
that
are
way.
they all are disappointed to hear that, but they do not fight you on it. They do
With
not argue with you.
with any luck, I will not see you at tomorrow night's dinner party, but I don't know if we're that lucky yet. But I guess I don't know when Vision's getting back, but I would probably wait for him before going back to the mayor to report.
Yeah,
I guess I also don't know if the kid's father is also missing, or was out of the picture or what. We didn't really ask about their father, so there may be one other person.
the kid told Vision that it was just the three of them
Okay.
for a while, for as long as they can remember. Gaki said that.
So these people have to stay with the mayor.
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
he have like a big enough place to accommodate them? Um,
yeah. The mayor lives at City Hall, which is the only two-story building in town, and
okay,
he lives on the second floor. So there is enough room have have some people, although they'd be sleeping in offices and stuff. But
so the accommodations aren't ideal for them to stay.
yeah, it's not ideal, but it works in a pinch.
Would you say that the where we're staying would be better than the mayor's?
Better in what sense?
Um, I mean, I guess we're staying like what, on a dirt floor or something.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, would somebody prefer to stay where we're staying, than opposed to going to the mayor's? Because it seems like they don't want to be around it.
Yeah, I think people are so if you asked if you asked anyone, they would prefer
Hmm.
not to stay with the mayor.
Okay.
Not necessarily because of the accommodations, but because more of the implications of having to
Oh,
spend time with the mayor.
okay. So it would be okay.
So they would take up an offer to stay elsewhere, even if it was a bit uncomfortable. Um,
Okay.
you know, but
All right.
Taka's house was like two rooms, and it was already pretty squished with five people staying in it.
Okay. So um, I will find somebody. Well, I guess the person who said that we talked to that looked disappointed or sad that he was the bachelor that was going back to the mayor's place.
Yeah.
I will go back and talk to Taka if I can find him and say that I know someone. I'm going to give up my spot at his place and stay at the mayor's.
Oh. Uh. Well. Well, who's the I suppose that's fine. Um, is he an aspiring member?
I don't know. He could be. He is a bachelor, so he has apparently no family ties. Maybe that makes him a good candidate.
Drop a suicide vest to him. Perfect candidate.
Yep.
Nobody loves you, bachelor. You have nothing to live for.
So, okay, go ahead.
Well, that's that arrangement seems alright with me. But are you sure you want to stay with the bear? He can be a bit much sometimes.
Yes, it's what I need to do to get rid of one of my conditions. So I will do it.
All right. Well,
So
let them know, and I will be awaiting them.
okay. So yeah, I'll go find the bachelor and talk to him. Let him know he doesn't have to stay there.
Yeah, you knock on the door, and Bota answers. Says, "How's the counting going? Do you have a sense of who's missing?"
We don't have a definitive count right yet, but we will bring you the final numbers. I don't want to give you any estimates. It'd be wrong.
All right. Well, seems that's it's respectable by my opinion. What can I do you for?
I'm looking for someone who has come to stay here. A confirmed bachelor. I don't remember his name. He was a sad sack.
Oh yeah, that's Lo. Hey Lo, you got a friend. You got a visitor. Now, do you want some water?
Oh, I'm fine.
And he says, Lo comes to the door.
So I asked Lo, come outside. Let me speak to you.
Yes, and you again.
Yes, I have accommodations for you if you do not wish to stay here.
Anywhere is better than here. Where is the accommodations?
I asked him if he knows Taka, right? That guy's name.
That is his name.
Okay, good. Said, do you know Taka?
I'm not familiar with him.
Well, you're about to be. He is gracious enough to let you stay there. I'll be staying here instead, so you do not have to endure the mayor.
Thank you. He brings his hands up. He's like, praise Kiyoshi.
So I will lead him to where Taka is, and because I don't know if we're finished collecting or looking or searching, and go back to doing that.
Okay. So he just lets Bota know what's going on, and you do that. I'd say probably by 1 a.m. You know, it's like the final stragglers have come back, and you kind of have a pretty clear idea of who's missing at this point.
Okay.
And it's still the same three people.
Okay.
Right. So when Zhizhen gets back and can, I guess, is he still looking for the mother, or is he just coming back?
Zhizhen, if he can answer. You're still muted.
Muted.
I think it's through your headphones, which you're not wearing. Just can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. This is literally the only thing that Chrome's turned down right now. So what's up?
I just wasn't sure if you were still looking for the mother or what.
Oh yeah, I probably Zishin would have gotten back and met back up with you guys by now.
Yeah. Zhizhen wouldn't have been gone for that long. He probably would have come back, by 11 or so.
So yeah, then whenever Zizhen comes back and confirms that he didn't find the mother, we'd more or less know it's just those 3 people missing and 3 people dead. So we could go tell the mayor. And I would also break the news that we have a house guest back at Taka's. The confirmed bachelor. Who finds it's defensively immediately says that he's a bachelor and it's just better that way. That he live alone. So you can tell his life is not going super well. Probably an incel.
So, you can deliver the news to the mayor.
Yep.
So he answers the door. There's bags under his eyes at this point. He's getting, yeah. And he says 3 bodies, or 3 people missing. Well, that's pretty good, all things considering.
Right.
But that's
I mean, tomorrow the platypus bears may come back and continue knocking down buildings, but for now the earthbenders are trying to fix them up again.
Well, luckily, and he looks around to see if checking to see if there's anyone else around you. He says, luckily, I got one of those newfangled radios that you can use to communicate across the world. And technology is amazing, isn't it? Of course, my guests, my dinner guests, are just as big fan of radios, I think. But anyway, I managed to get a hold of one of the people from the Air Nation. One of the people from the Air Nation, let them know what was going on, and well, they agreed to send a couple of their people to check it to help us out, along with a care package of supplies. They said they'd be here and they could get here in a couple days. So it'll be nice to have someone who understands the spirit stuff better than Zalfu.
Sure, that will be helpful.
But well, thank you for your hard work, and I know it's late. Get some sleep, and why'd you come by for dinner tomorrow?
Yeah, it's really getting late. Had to hit the old dusty trail. Meanwhile, like Sock just in the background in his pajamas.
Yep.
I just want to see. So, when he mentioned the air benders coming, I probably didn't hide it well. that there was like a combination of like intense interest and mild panic at hearing that. As I was trying to stifle my reaction to it, but I missed.
Yeah. He's seeing you kind of, seeing your expression kind of change, like kind of peak up, and then kind of even in the torchlight, or the candlelight anyway, you could probably see some of the color kind of drain out of your face. Says, you doing okay, son? You
You know, airbenders coming to investigate spirit stuff. That's never gonna be a great time. Maybe
Oh.
they can help.
Oh, they're lovely people. If you just get to know them.
I mean, I guess I've met a few in my day, but it's sad that we need their help.
Well,
Yeah, looking forward to that dinner party.
all right, I got you in the books. You hear that? You hear that, sock chick? Your friend's coming.
Mm.
All right, well, you have a good night, and we'll deal with more cleanup in the morning.
I'll go back to Taka's and get some sleep.
So that would everybody else, or rather, Zhizhen, are you also following suit? And Sakshik, he's got a space cleared out for you.
Okay.
The floor here is not dirt. It's actual stone.
Okay.
So it's slightly less comfortable. But he does, on the other hand, he's got blankets, which Taka didn't have blankets or pillows. So he has some extra things to make it as comfortable as possible.
All right.
Cool. And so you all wake up in the morning, feeling tired, since it was a bit of a shorter sleep, but rested as far as mechanics go. And I think that's a good spot to take a quick 5-minute break.
Okay.
So you wake up in the morning, a bit tired, and you're greeted. Taka is already up by the time you get up. He's sipping on a cup of tea, which is, you don't see any leaves in it. It's just pure hot water. And
I will explain to him that isn't tea. That is just leafless hot leaf juice.
Just because you can't see the leaves doesn't mean it isn't tea. It tastes very good. Would you like some?
Sure, I will try some of your apparently leafless tea.
He gives it to you. It tastes just like hot water.
Then I will say, not only can I not see the leaves, I cannot taste the leaves. So I apparently have a long way to go before I'm as wise as you, Taka.
Well, you are a new recruit after all. It will take some time, but eventually you will taste the tea. I went for a stroll this morning. Tell me, what do you know about that mark, that symbol etched into the road?
I believe that it's faintly glowing, or it was last night.
Oh, that thing is faintly. That thing is as bright as a lighthouse.
Seemed faint to me.
You're both
And I
not
will
glowing at all.
I will look at like Urda still asleep, and then over at Jijin. Maybe the older you are, the brighter it looks.
Or the closer you are to death.
I I don't know what, I've never seen that before. Have you?
I don't think I have. I don't know about Urda.
Ura says, nah, nothing. I've never seen it. And he's like he waves his hands to let him get back to sleep. This is, I don't know what it is, but something about it is unsettling. It seems, I
It's
need
clearly
to,
some sort of spirit-related thing. We know that the platypus bear spirits retreated to some caves near the military base. So I don't know if that's where they'll come from next time, but it sounded like they were going to come back to finish the job, since they were warning us to get people out of what they considered to be their town. And it would be good to go see just how wrecked the military base got. Oh, by the way, Gunshot does seem to have released his other prisoners. We saw them in the melee.
you say the military base got wrecked, or the encampment.
That's what we heard last night from a soldier.
Well,
That they were decimated. And I was wondering if that means decimated, like 1/10 of their people got killed, or like most of their people got killed, because it's very unclear what that word means these days.
well, if that isn't karma or fate, then I don't know what is.
Unfortunately, I do have to go to a dinner party tonight.
At the mayor's, you got roped into one.
Yes.
You should have tried harder to. You should have tried harder to be a beggar. A beggar. He would never. He never invited you to dinner.
It's a good tip. Maybe I'll have to start begging in the middle of his dinner party.
That would certainly. There's a good chance that it would definitely wouldn't earn you a second invite. But, you um, I need to. I need to I need to ask a few questions. So I'm going to be out for a while. You may use my house as you will, as your own, and treat it as your own. But I would just ask that you don't disturb me. I will be in the back room, but you are free to use the front to your heart's content.
All right. So I guess we'll find Sakcha, who's staying with the mayor tonight, or last night. And I would still like to go see what's going on with military base, but I guess we'll figure out what we're up to today once we talk to Sakcha.
Yeah, I'm curious too to see what happened over there. As long as we don't go near that cave.
So we'll go get Sakcha.
You head back to the mayor's residence. You knock on the door, and you open it, and Mayor Bota opens up. Well, rise and shine. Did you come for breakfast?
No, we're just here to get Sakcha. We have some work we need to get done.
Sakshik, you had a decent night's sleep. It was nice to have blankets and a pillow. The mayor offered you cold cereal in the morning. You're muted.
I would respectfully decline. Does the sleep alleviate my fear? I mean, my fatigue?
I believe so.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So
Yeah.
sleeping
Just a-
rough. Yeah.
Yeah, just a question of how comfortable or uncomfortable it was. But like the worst case is it clears like 1, I think.
So sleeping rough, like a night spent on cold ground with rocks for a bed, clears 2 fatigue.
Right.
So yeah, that would clear your fatigue, your 2 fatigue.
Okay. Would by condition of guilt be gone? Is this enough to be a personal sacrifice to absolve your guilt?
I'd say that definitely counts as a personal sacrifice.
Okay.
I forgot. What was the bachelor doing while we were having our conversation?
Yeah, I know.
Just listening in to our Red Lotus meeting.
The bachelor was knocked out.
Literally?
Yeah, he was still sleeping. Yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable. Because it was a bit uncomfortable overnight because he kept farting.
He's a bachelor. It's all beans all the time at the bachelor pad.
Mm-hmm. Would you like some? Would you like
Yeah,
a bean drink?
Before we leave, wake him up and tell him he has to leave, and then like open all the windows. Wait. Air the place out.
Okay. Well, I don't have a. I'll figure out accommodations tonight. I might know a couple of floors I could sleep on. Just take some time to find them.
And then also once he leaves, I'll start like unloading all the food that I pocketed the night before.
So the larders have been partially filled. So as you get Sakshik, as soon as I imagine as soon as Mayor Bota opens up the door and greets them, and you hear Gage, I would imagine Sakshik is like trying to get out of there if he's not eating anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I leave.
All right. Well, where y'all heading?
We've got to do some work at the house of a guy who's putting us up while we're in town. So we'll be at Taka's. But see you tonight for the dinner party.
Yeah, I'll see you there. You get excited. I think we're making well, it's a surprise, really. I invited Gunshaw, but he keeps turning down my invitations. He's only been to one dinner party. Breakfast, lunch, just can't get through to him.
Well, that's surprising. But I did hear that he released the townsfolk he had held captive. So that's good.
Well, that's a step in the right direction. I've used my radio to try to talk to them, talk to the Beifongs, or at least get someone over in Zaofu, let them know what happened, and to express my displeasure at how much their army did, how little their army did to actually protect the town.
Oh, hopefully they get back to you quickly.
Now, I'm trying to get them to come for dinner, but it might be a few days.
Yeah, I could see they're quite a distance away. Come on, Sockcheck, we've got to go.
Yeah, Soctic is already like out the door.
So I'm gonna walk away at that point.
Hey, wait a minute. We had a deal. Did we get wait? Did we get our money last night or?
Yeah, he would have given it to you last night.
Okay, never mind. And Zijan shuts his mouth. Keeps it shut.
So Sockcheck, we were gonna go check out the military base to see what actually happened, since all we heard was it was decimated.
Well, I don't think it would hurt to see what it's at.
So we're going to the military base then.
Okay. So you make your way out of the north end of town, and you walk the half a mile, and as you get closer to the base, you don't see any tents per se, but you see lots of little stone tents or stone structures that look like two like tents made out of slabs of earth, and you see those kind of strewn about. Around them are shredded canvas from there's shredded canvas from the previous tents. You see that there aren't as many. There isn't as much. There are some people that are still look like they have their stuff outside, that they were like cowboy camping for the night, because they couldn't fit. There wasn't enough room to fit all the tents, or at least they have the same density as they with stone tents as they did canvas. Walking through, you see a number of soldiers and camp staff. They're all covered in dirt, and they look like they've got almost all of them have scratches. A few of them have, or I guess more than a few, have several large gashes in them. That looks like they're deep gashes that look like they were the work of some claws. So you can walk. Are you just kind of walking through, or are you heading? Are you heading to like where Gunshaw's tent was, or?
I mean, I imagine we were probably playing it by ear a little bit, like just walking in the direction of it. and if it didn't seem like anyone was objecting, wandering through it. I wasn't necessarily going to go talk to Gunshaw unless other people want to. We don't have Ura with us to use his wisdom to calm everyone down if things go awry. And based on passion and lack of harmony, I did threaten the man's life last time we were here.
So, sorry, go on.
Oh, we could just check on him and tell him we appreciate him releasing the rest of the prisoners.
Well, I'll let you in on a secret. I'm not 100% sure if he released them or their prison tent got tore up and they just left. I mean, it doesn't look like they've got a lot of extra resources to take care of prisoners after the attack. So maybe his hand was forced and he just decided it wasn't worth it. They didn't apparently unshackle them before letting them go. And that looks more like a prison break than a release.
Well, maybe we should inquire to see what kind of condition he is in.
I'm not opposed to going to see him. I just don't know what we'll ask him. Maybe he can tell us what happened.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's better to start with one of the peons. I mean, these guys were here. They saw what happened. We don't need to talk to Gunshot.
I think that's fair too. I mean, it seems as if the, from the damage done and the injuries, like they probably got more in the nature of aggressive platypus bear spirits than the more harassing, flying down at you kind of spirits. But they might have seen whether or not it's true that they came out of the caves at the outskirts of this camp.
And there might have been something else that we haven't seen or heard about.
Yep, that's also true.
Maybe
Have
there's
at it.
marks that may or may not be glowing. Definitely not glowing, but
That's true. Since it's daylight, I assume me seeing this is like dimly glowing. I probably am not even going to see, even if it is glowing. It's probably too bright for me to make that out.
Yeah, it is.
But I would look around at least to see if there's anything like scratched into the ground that looks similar.
Okay. Looking like, so you'd have to, I would say, like, where you're at, you don't see anything scratched into the ground. But like if you're making your way through the camp and like you're gonna be like kind of checking and kind of keeping an eye out for it,
Right.
then that makes sense. So as you're walking your way, as you make your way through and you're looking around, checking for this, some of the soldiers will like lift their heads up and kind of look at you to try to see who you are, and then just lay their heads back down. They seem to not have the inclination or really the energy to not fight, but to challenge you or shoo you away. So as you're making your way through, you don't notice any other like scratches in the dirt that mimic what you've seen in town. At a certain point, there's somebody. So one of the guards, one of the soldiers that are the ones that are dressed a little bit more nicely, although their armor is torn, and their armor is torn, will approach you and say, "Can I help you? Or is there something you're looking for?"
The town was attacked last night. I'm sure you probably heard. After we managed to chase away the spirits in town, we had heard that there was a lot of damage done to the camp. It was too late for us to come out here and see if anything was needed, but once daylight hit and we could gather our group together, we decided to come see. It seems as though you ultimately fared better than the town did, though. Did anyone, was anyone injured or killed?
Thankfully, no casualties. We did lose a couple people though. We got ransacked by several platypus bears, and some flying creatures that were about 2 feet long. And those were fine. We drove those out pretty quick. They weren't challenging. The platypus bears were supercharged, in a sense, or they were stronger, but we managed to contain them, or at least fend them off. But then one came out of the woods that seemed like it was missing a face, and that one was stronger than all the others. And well, that one, no one managed. It was a bear. It was a platypus bear. Or at least it looked like a platypus bear. Didn't really have a bill. But it was bigger than all the others.
Came out of the woods?
It
and
did.
I will sort of look around to see, like, where are there woods around this encampment?
The encampment is like further. It's like further back. So the encampment is like partially wooded, kind of like a savanna. But there's kind of like deeper woods around it. In the picture, it would be like closer to the back left part where there's that swath of trees. This picture, I showed it earlier, Peter.
I mean, I would just point and ask, you mean the bear came from that direction? The strong bear.
Yeah,
Because we also ran into spirit platypus bears, and they were knocking down buildings in town, as well as the smaller flying ones that we also chased off. But I don't think any of the spirits we saw were faceless. It was dark and a bit chaotic, but I think I would have noticed that.
it's probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did the platypus bear say anything to anyone?
No.
'Cause we talked to the spirits once we chased off the little ones.
You talked to it?
Yeah, and it said that the town was theirs, and that the people should basically just go away.
Oh, Gunshot's got to hear about this.
Does he, though?
Well, he's supposed to be in charge of. Well, he's supposed to. He's the one who runs this area, or at least runs this squadron.
Speaking of
I
that,
mean-
like, how well did he actually lead last night? Like, did he demonstrate himself to be, a lead from the front type?
Well, as soon as the alarm was sounded, he leapt out, metal whips blazing. He was he definitely he was a sight to behold. I mean, he's a sergeant for a reason. Um, he's a skilled metal bender, and he didn't hold back, but these spirits were strong, unnaturally strong.
Well, I'm certainly eager to talk to Gunshot, and he can find me tonight at the dinner party at the mayor's.
I will I'll let him know. I'm sure a dinner party is. I'm sure he owes the mayor at least a visit, so that they could talk this out.
Better prepare himself, because I don't know that the mayor is super happy with the military not having been defending the town at all. He may get called a knucklehead.
Well, that's just a risk we're gonna have to take, I suppose. But he looks around at like all the wounded, and he's like, I mean, we were barely able to keep ourselves alive. It's I guess no one was expecting an attack this fierce this quickly.
Yeah, I'll bet we weren't expecting any sort of attack at all, and then we were under attack. But I guess it's in line with the attacks on the farms that have been disrupting your supply of food. Do you know, were they being attacked by the same sorts of spirits?
There's been reports of various different types of spirits. Some small, some large. It's not really consistent from one attack to the next.
Are there any reports of faceless spirits?
See, that's one I haven't heard yet.
Well, like I said, I don't think we saw that in the town. So I forget, I'm sure we've asked this before. Do people know about Ko the Face Stealer, or is that more obscure? Like, the Avatar knows about it. Team Avatar probably knows about it. But I don't know if that's general knowledge, since he's one particular very ancient spirit.
Yeah, I would say that most people don't know about Ko the Face Stealer. I would say that the people that would know about Ko would be those who are either spent significant time in the spirit world, like Ura isn't here, or Tony isn't here, but I would imagine Ura would at least be aware of Ko. And I would expect people like Tenzin to be in Tenzin or Genora to like have learned about Ko, bare minimum from Aang's stories, but like just kind of have a little bit more textbook knowledge of, you know, well-known powerful spirits. But
so after talking to this guy, my Gage would start walking like towards the forest where the faceless bear came out. And just assume that the other two will follow. Yeah, so I'm probably like halfway there before I turn around and realize This is it.
You see him in the distance, just looking and waving. Have fun. I'll be right here.
What about sock chick?
Yeah, I'll go with you. I got one more condition I got to take care of.
And I'd say Ura is tagging along with you guys. You know, he's just kind of following. He didn't want to, despite airing out Taka's place, he still felt like he needed a little bit of a break.
So I mean, I'm going to be looking for, I don't know what sort of signs a rampaging faceless spirit would leave,
Yeah.
but looking for just anything that seems out of place. At some point, I almost certainly would stop and just close my eyes and see if I could sense any spiritual disturbance. No reason for me to think that will work, but no reason for me to think I was going to eventually become an airbender. So you never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just happen.
I mean, airbenders are known for their connection to spirits and all of that, so...
Yeah, that's sort of my thinking too, but my Gage has never himself actually felt anything like that. He's just hoping he's a natural.
You know, I'd say this could be this sounds like a rely on your skills and training. So yeah, roll with focus.
Nope. Not a natural.
So you're searching through the forest, and you're being hit, or you're stumbling through the forest, looking for signs of the rampaging, or looking for signs where this creature went, and you see lots of broken tree limbs, kind of all around, and which makes it difficult to find particularly which direction it came from. So I would imagine that you'd follow one of them, and it takes you off course for a while, and so you can mark a fatigue because you're spending extra energy kind of going down this dead end.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you realize you're on a dead end, and you would come back, and you and on your way back you happen to come across a cave, and Ura pipes up. This is the cave. This is the cave I saw the bears go in last night. So, what are we gonna do?
I would be following, but a good 100 meters behind.
I guess we could go into the cave, but we don't know what's in there. Possibly angry platypus bear spirits. Possibly faceless angry platypus bear spirits that are extra strong. I mean, but who needs faces? And I'm going to start walking into the cave.
All right. So are you all walking into the cave, or is just Gage? Are you guys just letting Gage go in?
I assume
Uh,
Aura's coming with me. No one else. He wanted
I'll
to come here
follow.
at night.
I'll follow behind. Who is Aura?
Ura, it's Tony's character.
character.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Ura's just hanging out.
Okay.
Um. Okay. Are you going to walk in? Are you gonna walk in as is? Or are you gonna try to like move quietly? Or are you just gonna?
Oh, I think I'd be moving as quietly as I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I say that could be. Say you could. That'd be a rely on your skills and training roll. Either just one for either of you. So I would say whoever has the best focus.
I'm +0.
I'm +3.
All right. So then, Sakshik, you make the roll.
I also can't roll above 5 today.
Yeah, I've noticed. Crap. Where's this? I don't have it. Okay. Skills and training.
Yep.
And make sure you don't have a condition that interferes with that, because it doesn't automatically apply the condition.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
figured
Yeah.
out.
Good call there. Let me double check to make sure.
You do not.
Okay. No, I don't. Thank you.
Good call. I wish this system did, or this.
Good lord. Garbage.
So I will say, Gage, you can spend a fatigue or mark a fatigue to use the help action, the help move, to like
I'll do that.
push that to a partial success at least. So what does that look like?
I mean, what are you doing to be stealthy?
What would I do to this? So I crouch down real low and I pull out of my pack some like big like goggles I put on, so I can kind of see. Maybe they're like, maybe kind of like not exactly infrared, or they give off some kind of heat signature. So I can kind of see. That helps me. Well, and that Gage realizes like when I put them on, like there's probably like caps on them, and I don't realize I got the caps on them like binoculars. He's like, "Hey, dumbass."
Yeah, I was
Take the
more
caps off.
thinking. Yeah, I was more thinking like you have your goggles on, and I am constantly like, no, right there at your feet, that pile of leaves.
Yeah,
You're gonna walk right through the loud pile of leaves.
yeah.
So you're able to, with the help of Gage, pointing out these piles of leaves in front of you, able to step across them. You almost stumble over a sleeping platypus bear.
Is it like an
Unless-
animal or a spirit?
You almost stumble on it. It looks like an animal. It's not translucent in the way that the spirits were last night. So Sakshik, because this is a partial success, you can either stumble over the platypus bear and potentially wake it up, or spend a mark of fatigue to make sure that you to like stop yourself at the last minute.
I will take a fatigue. So yeah, I'll say like these infrared goggles sort of give off a heat signature, but they have no like depth perception or peripheral vision. So I think it's like way up there. That's why I almost stepped on it. I'm like, oh shit, right in front of me.
He's like, this platypus bear is huge, given that it's 30 feet away and already this size.
Gosh. It's right here.
So you managed to get towards the back of the cave, and sidestep the sleeping platypus bear. Looking around through your infrared goggles, you see that there are two others that also appear to be sleeping. They're not they're not translucent like the spirits were last night. So these look like just regular platypus bears. Gage, you see on one of the walls, you see what looks like a very faint green glow, similar to the one that you saw on the mark, because it's dark in here. And it's in the there's like a outline of like a kind of an amorphous blob, somewhat in a circle, but not a perfect circle. Kind of like.
Does it look like there's any sort of like marking or writing similar to what we saw before there, or it's just a circle?
It's just a circle, kind of like that. Oh no! My Foundry just reset. But yeah, it's just like kind of like a imperfect kind of organic circle.
So I will like wave to get, to not make noise, wave to get Sakshik's attention and point at the circle.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Sakshik sees the circle this time, sees the glow or not. So you might just see me pointing at a wall.
Yeah, Sakshik, you don't see anything.
I don't see, yeah. Does the circle give off any kind of heat signature?
It does not.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't see it.
And Ura pipes up. Like, that's a very. That's a bright. It's a bright marking there.
And I see it more as dimly glowing, like the other one.
You need to get your eyes checked.
I think we're just seeing it differently, old man. But we should make our way out so we don't wake up these bears.
So you guys can make your way out. You don't need to make a roll.
Oh, thank God.
You know where the bears are now. And the leaves.
Yeah. And how many were there? 3?
Yeah, there were 4. So like you almost ran over one, then you saw 3 others.
How many spirit platypus bears did we see the night before?
There were 2 in town, and there were 2 that you saw in town, and then there were just reports of several. The soldier at the encampment just said that there were several platypus bears and one faceless one.
See, now I'm wondering if maybe the spirits somehow possessed the platypus bears in order to be able to do the damage they did. But it seems as if there might be yet another missing platypus bear, and the faceless platypus bear seems to be sort of on top of the ones we saw in the cave, at least. So maybe 2 came into town and 2 attacked the military encampment, and the faceless one may have come through that circle that only Ura and I can see. Like maybe it's some sort of portal into and out of the spirit world that the spirits are using to get here. But that would explain why Ura saw them going into the cave.
It makes sense to me. It, maybe they were just going home. I wonder which part of the spirit world this connects to. If it does. Seems likely.
I mean, I'm not sure that we want to necessarily test it enough to find out, because I'm not sure if we'll be able to go there and get back.
Oh, trust me, it would not worth it.
See, now, do we tell... I mean, I guess at this point we should probably go and connect up with Zizhen again. If we see him in the distance still waving.
Yeah. So, how was it?
Well, there seems to be a glowing circle on the wall similar to what the platypus bears drew in town. So I'm guessing you wouldn't have seen the glow. And Ura sees it as a bright glow. I saw it as something more dim. But otherwise, they just appear to be 4 normal platypus bears sleeping. So I guess they're tired from their night of knocking over buildings.
they're partied out.
Right.
Well, if they're, I mean, the platypus bears yesterday were spirit bears. I mean, so if those are the same platypus bears, then where's those flying ones? The others.
I mean, that I don't know, but there's also that mystery glowing circle inside the cave. So I'm guessing the cave is somehow connected to the spirit world itself. See, I see a question as, do we tell the military that they have this potentially dangerous cave of platypus bears right behind them? Or do we leave the platypus bears to go and kill the military the next time they decide to emerge? We might be able to get rid of the military, because they'll probably, strategically retreat if they're attacked again.
Well, I mean, if they're coming from the cave, why don't we just block the cave entrance?
Well, that would hurt the bears. Bears got to get out at some point.
The same ones you're worried about that might attack?
Oh, no, you have it wrong. I see it as an opportunity that they might attack the military camp. The downside is they might actually hurt, some of the poor people of the town.
Yeah, and also, just because they're soldiers doesn't mean that they're bad and deserve to be hurt or worse.
Look, everyone in the Matrix is potentially an agent.
What the Matrix?
once the military is overthrown, all of these soldiers will have their opportunity to become just regular citizens of the new anarchy. But
Yep.
right now, we have to recognize that they are hostile to us.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, we joined the Red Lotus. We're going to be the ones to overthrow the military on our terms, and we can do it without causing all of the pain and suffering that a bunch of spirit platypus bears and their flying lemur like brothers in arms might we we don't we can do it better, more. We don't need the bears, so why don't we just block the cave entrance, deal with this whole situation, and then we handle the military ourselves?
Seems like extra steps, but
We could wake them up and invite them to a dinner party.
that would be good if we could find a way to get the platypus bears into the dinner party. Unfortunately, there will be some non-elites there because the mayor seems to invite everybody, other than Taka. But there will probably be several of the town's elites. And it would be easier for us if the platypus bears killed them rather than, us having to suffocate them after sucking the breaths out of their lungs.
Uro pipes up. I've never seen a bear sit at a table, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been done before.
I know for a fact it has been done. That was a bear. These are platypus bears.
Yeah, I heard about that bear.
Right. It was half bear and half other bear.
Impossible.
The old Earth King's pet was just both halves bear.
Spoiled with the life of luxury.
If we were going to seal this cave to keep them in, does it seem like would be possible? Like, how sturdy does this cave entrance look? With nobody here being like a full-fledged functional earthbender. And wanting to do it, obviously you can swing a meteor hammer 100 times, but probably not without waking up the bears first.
Yeah. I'd say the entrance is big enough where it would be difficult to effectively block it in a quick manner without being a earthbender. So it might be. I would say that if you tried to block it or tried to block it up or move things in front of it, you wouldn't be able to do so without at least one of the bears waking up.
Well, seems to me, as much as I hate to do this, if we're going to try to close up this cave, we're going to have to go back and talk to Gunshaw. Because he has earthbenders on his side. And they can do this lickety-split really easy, and we can't. It'd take us hours, and we probably have to fight all of the bears, which would, make trying to seal the cave useless anyway.
What about that master key?
We could go talk to him, but he's even further away. and I'm 100% sure that Gunshaw would send somebody out to prevent the return of these bears. Master P might not want to wander quite this far away from the village. In fact, that master might just say, tell Gunshaw and the military to seal the cave because they're closer.
I'm good
That's
with
true.
whatever.
Yeah, Uda could just blow the whole cave entrance up. Combustion bending style. Riskier, because they might wake up and might make it out if he doesn't completely collapse it, but he could probably do it.
Yeah. Alright, I could try. I bet I could collapse it. See what these little bones can do. But there's always a chance that it doesn't that I miss. And the
As much as I hate to say it, I can actually see more benefits to going and getting Gunshaw to do it, because Gunshaw's Earthbenders be able to do it almost certainly, unless the bears wake up before we can get back here. But also, we could probably leverage that into Gunshaw basically owing us a favor. And although he is the man, it might still be useful to have someone on his side of the table owe us a favor. So that's what I would recommend, that we just go talk to Gunshaw.
Okay.
So I think we're going back to the base now.
Okay.
The camp. And looking for Gunshaw.
So yeah, you make your way back, and nothing's really changed. So you'd be able you had to you would head to where the commander's tent was beforehand. In its place, there's a small wooden, or not wooden. There's a stone house, not a tent like everybody else. It's not very big. It's maybe like 8 feet by 6 feet, just like a square room. But over the door is a piece of ripped tent, and stationed outside are 2 guards.
We'll go up to them. We need to talk to Gunshaw. Unless you want to be attacked again tonight.
And your name?
I'm Gage. We've met with Gunshaw before. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I'm blanking on the time thing.
It was the day before yesterday. He's
But you could tell him that we know where the platypus bears came from and they can't come back.
I will let you know what he says. Or I'll let you know what he says. And one of them goes in. You hear some voices speaking, and then he comes back out. Says, "You may enter."
They'll go in.
You see Gunshaw. There's a stone, or rather, there's a stone table that replaced the one that they were using, and he's sitting at it, or rather he's standing, and says, "Ah, you've returned. Uh, so what's this I hear about a second attack?"
So we also fought with platypus bear spirits in town, but we managed to converse with ours, and we were shown a vision of the cave where the spirits went to after they left the town. That cave is essentially right in the forest, right beyond your encampment. And in there are four sleeping platypus bears, as well as a little circle that only some people can see, but it does appear to be glowing, and it probably is somehow connected to the spirit world. I don't know the details of why the spirit world has some connection through this cave. All I can tell you is I saw a little glowing circle on the wall, and this is where the spirits apparently went to after they left the town. Now, four sleeping, living platypus bears in there probably have something to do with the platypus bears that attacked your camp last night. And the cave is wide open. So what we really need is for you to lend us a couple of earthbenders. We'll show them where the cave is, and they can use their bending to seal the cave off. That might not stop spirit platypus bears. Maybe they could just pass right through solid rock. But it will definitely stop the four living platypus bears that are already in there from coming out again. And maybe that will help you out if the spirits intend to attack again, because all the indications from the town were that they expect to attack again.
Why didn't we just check for the Why did we just check the area more thoroughly before setting up camp? Well, I think I can spare two earthbenders. Most of them, a good chunk of them are in town. I've committed most of my forces to help rebuild and take care of forces that can act anyway, to help take care of some of the things that we failed to do last night. But I have two that I can spare.
You could show them where the cave is, and hopefully that will help prevent a future attack. Have you learned anything more about why the spirits attacked your camp?
You said you saw two platypus bears in town.
Yeah, in town. Along with a bunch of little flying spirit creatures.
There were several more here. He kind of looks off. He looks off and seems lost in thought for a moment. I'm almost thinking that the attack on the camp, we got hit hard, and we did our best. Or at
And
least
lost several buildings, so also got hit pretty hard. 3 people died in collapses. 3 more people are missing.
I have a hunch that I have a hunch that whoever directed the spirits didn't want us to interfere, and that the attack on our camp was merely a diversion. Because why else?
Yeah,
Why else would you attack us?
We got the sense that the platypus bears stopped their attack to give us time to evacuate the town, but I don't think there's any appetite for that. Certainly, I don't think the Bayfongs would be too happy if the mine stopped working.
No, they'd be, that would not be good. They rely on the iron ore from Naopi to funnel to resource most of their projects.
I mean, my understanding is that usually when the spirits attack, it's because they're angry at something people are doing. I don't know what that would be in this case. Maybe something related to the mine, but you previously said that spirits were attacking farms, between here and other military checkpoints, so disrupting your line of supplies. So maybe it's broader than just the mine. But it seems to me like somebody needs to figure out what it is the spirits want, other than abandoning Naopi, and probably abandoning this camp.
Well, I've never spoken with a spirit before. It sounds like you did last night.
Yeah, in a brief and sort of stilted way. The mayor has invited airbenders in. They might have more luck speaking to the spirits than we have had.
From the Air Nation.
That's what he said. Well, I guess he didn't say from the Air Nation. I just assumed that. But it will take them days to get here. I'm not sure if the spirits don't intend to attack again tonight.
Well, if there's anybody who can communicate with them in a most assured way, it would be the airbenders, because that's hopefully the mayor conveyed that the nature of the attack, so that they send airbenders who are at least in a position to talk to spirits. That seems to be the best course of action to me, for like the midterm. For the short term, I suppose we could retreat into, we can break down the camp and move into town. Although we did that, we were mostly out here as a courtesy to avoid burdening the town. But if it means that we'd be able to be co-located, and have a closer watch, then perhaps that'd be for the best.
That sounds more like something you should probably discuss with the mayor before you do it, as it might be welcome and it might not be. Also, I don't really know what he conveyed to the airbenders. I just know that he has a radio and he used it and said that airbenders would be coming. But the good news is he's having a dinner party tonight, so all of your questions can be answered.
Oh boy. Well, I suppose I owe Mayor Bota a visit, at least.
But the immediate concern is just sealing up this cave and hoping that does something. So if you could point us to those earthbenders, we'll show them where the cave is.
Yes. I will go. I will order. I will get a couple and send them over to you. I'll have them meet you at the entrance of the cave.
Probably have them meet us here, and then we can show them where the cave is. 'Cause it took us a little time to find it. Unless you already know, in which case, seal it up.
He walks out of his command tent and speaks to one of the guards at the front, or positioned outside, and he runs out. About five minutes pass, and two soldiers come up, and they walk into the command tent along with Gunshaw.
And then I'll start to exit and say, "Come on, we'll take you to the cave." I mean, you're free to go inside if you want, but you'll be in there with 4 platypus bears. I'd be curious to see whether or not either of the earthbenders can see the circle on the back wall, but that's more of a curiosity on my part. Probably best just to seal it up and leave it be.
Sounds good to me. I don't have any desire to meet another platypus bear ever.
So I will lead them back to the cave.
Yeah, and they start moving their arms in a rhythmic fashion, like they're trying to pull up a heavy door, and they kind of adjust their swing and give it more force, and then the ground starts coming up, and
So
spurts.
like Mike moving their arms in a rhythmic
just
fashion.
like that, but vertically. And vertically, and a stone slab seals off the entrance to the cave. So now it looks just like a stone wall that backs up to this hillside.
Well, we should probably go. I don't want to hear this yelling of the platypus bears when they realize they're stuck in there.
Jishin yells from the 100 meters away. Is it safe? Did you do it?
Yes, it's sealed. I mean, I don't know if it's sealed from spirit platypus bears, but physical platypus bears are probably fucked. What time of day is it after that?
It's about 1 in the afternoon at this point. So the Earthbenders would insist on getting back to their posts. What are you guys? Where are you guys gonna go?
I'm not sure that there's anything more to learn at the military camp, so I probably wouldn't go back into town. Back to Taka's.
Okay. Sorry. There's a mosquito there. So you get into town. On your way to Taka's, you pass through the center area, and you notice around there's kind of a group. There's a group that looks like there's about 20 people standing near the mark, or the area where the symbol is drawn. And they appear to be kind of crowding around it.
I guess I would tap somebody on the shoulder at the outside of the group. What's everyone looking at?
They turn and they say, there are flowers, or at least something's growing, and it just sprouted today. And they point to the mark, and around it, it's kind of surrounded with this, a bunch of shoots, of green plants, a bunch of shoots from plants. This
It's
wasn't
around the mark, or
Yeah, it's around the mark. Yeah, this wasn't here yesterday. Um, yeah, you didn't notice this yesterday at all. So this is, or even this morning as you're passing through. So this has been within the past 4 hours that this has happened.
how big are these plants at this point?
They're about 6 inches tall, so they're not very big, relatively, but they appear to be, at least have grown pretty fast.
And since I've spent a lot of time in Republic City, do they look like spirit vines or something else?
They do not look like spirit vines.
Okay.
They look like they look closer to be like some sort of, what you would imagine as some sort of flower.
So I'm not sure what to make of this, but obviously this is going to be part of the spirit's plans. So it's probably not great for us. But at least it's not spirit vine, so they're not trying to take over the village that way by just overgrowing it with vines.
Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't imagine. It's
I am not guaranteeing this is better than that, just different.
oh,
It is growing around a mark that the spirit platypus bears left. So I imagine there's something of the spirit world about them.
maybe we should leave. Maybe we should join the others.
Sorry, which others?
There's a growing contingent of people that have decided to. There's a growing contingent of people that have decided to vacate Naopi and head to Zaofu in hopes that they would be able to offer better protection.
I mean, protection maybe, but it sounds like they're just trading one set of masters for another. All that needs to be done is to figure out what is upsetting the spirits and fix that problem. Seeking defense is essentially just antagonizing the spirits, I would think.
I mean,
So-
sorry, go on.
So the mark on the ground is similar to the one that was in the cave?
The one in the cave was more. It is different. The one on the ground looks like this.
But it's the same type of deal where only Gage and Lazibla could see it, right?
And Taka could also see it. And it seems like Taka saw it brightest of all.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one in the cave was. The one in the cave was something like this.
Okay.
And like this, the mark on the ground is. I have. This looks like this.
Okay. So
Except you don't see any of the green glowing parts.
right.
It just looks like you just see the outlines in the dirt.
Okay. So I did see the outlines of the dirt. I just didn't see the glowing green part.
Correct.
Okay, and what are the plants? Are the plants making that whole symbol, or without the green, or now are the green?
The plants are around the outside of it, like surrounding it, and,
Okay.
and couching it, if you will.
All right. So what
With
is
all
the
that said, I
significance-
guess in the sorry, go ahead.
What is the significance of this then?
Oh, I don't think we know what the mark means. It seems like it's sort of related to the mark we saw in the cave, but it's a different mark. It might be the mark of a particular spirit, like a signature. Could have some other significance. It could be some symbol that the spirits are using to channel their power. But I don't know. I don't know that much about the spirits in the spirit world.
Might be worth investigating.
Yeah, this isn't exactly like, the sort of place where I'd expect to find a good library of spiritual phenomenon.
No, but there is a dinner party tonight.
Yeah, it's not exactly the crowd I would expect to know a lot about this particular thing.
Never know.
Right? If we were in Zalfu or Republic City or some other major center where there might be, or like, Ba Sing Se, where there's a major university, then I'm sure we might have more resources where we could try to research things like this. Although, book learning's not my strong suit. And then I would turn to the crowd and say, I'm rethinking it. Maybe in the long term, fleeing to Zalfu is a lost cause. But in the short term, it might not be such a bad idea. Because this mark is here. And I wouldn't be surprised if the spirits do come back at some point.
Yeah, I'm on the fence myself, but seems I s-
I mean, I would say at the very least, anybody with children should probably consider getting their children out of this area. Particularly this area right around this square where the symbol is. Because while I can't say the spirits won't come back and attack some other part of the village, sometimes lightning does strike twice. They may have it in for this particular part of the village in particular.
If you are hit by lightning a second time, you truly are unlucky.
well. Well, I guess that's enough to convince me. Well, come on, come on, come on, Shara. Let's. And he turns to the person next to him. Let's go. Let's go pack the wagon. And they turn and walk away. You see a couple others kind of follow suit. You're you can see also the buildings that have been knocked down, and you see Master Puhan and some of his students working on erecting new buildings to replace them. You also see a number of the soldiers helping repair the other buildings. So everyone seems to be kind of busy trying to fix what was destroyed last night.
I think Master Puhan would be someone to ask about this symbol.
I mean, maybe. people from the Earth Kingdom aren't necessarily the most spiritually attuned in the world. So I don't know how much time he spent studying spirit matters, but he can't possibly know less than me. I look forward to the mayor hearing that I urged people to move out of the town. Whatever you do, panic. So yeah, I guess I would go over to Master Puan. Excuse me, I was just wondering, do you know anything about that symbol over there that has the shoots of green flowers growing in an eerie circle around it, and that was left by the spirit bears last night?
It's glowing. It just looks like scratch. It was scratched in the dirt to me.
Did you see it last night?
I didn't happen to notice anything.
For whatever reason, different people see it differently. I see it as faintly glowing, although in the daylight it doesn't look like that. Last night it was clearly faintly glowing, but Ura here sees it as brightly glowing, and at least one other person described it as blindingly glowing.
Now, I'm afraid I don't. I'm afraid I haven't run across this before. Spirits aren't really my thing. Although the mayor said that some of the Air Nation's coming. So
When they get here, in a few days, they might be able to shed light on it. But I don't know that we can feel safe that the spirits aren't going to return before they get here.
What do you make of those green plants?
I've seen them before. They're lotus flowers. It's one of the most beautiful, delicate flowers out there.
Do you know if there's any spiritual significance to lotus flowers?
It's said that places that have been touched by spiritual energies, by the spirit world, there tends to the connection can be symbolically represented as the form of a lotus.
Well, I hope it's just a spiritual symbol then. Initially, I was afraid it could be spirit vines that started to grow there, because, as I think I said last night, the bears sort of indicated that they're claiming this area and would be back. But maybe it's just the spirit symbol has caused lotuses to grow there, in which case probably the growth itself is not going to be that harmful.
I'll keep an eye on it. If they start getting unruly, we can try to dig them out. But
Well, I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to be that easy to undo whatever the spirits have done.
no, all we can do is try to rebuild these houses and make people feel safe again, or at least move them to safety.
Hopefully there's not another attack. I will go over and check them again, just to the plants again. Do they have like buds on them?
They have leaves, and you see like the formation of buds, but like they're still very, very small.
They're not blooming lotuses yet, but still coming.
So, is there anything you guys are gonna do before dinner, the dinner party?
I mean, I'll probably find some dirt and like further dirty up my one set of clothes. just, just because I don't want to be invited back.
Okay.
Jijin would check in on the kids and Iki if Iki was ever found.
Okay. Um, so you would navigate to Lori's house. You would know where it's at. And when you knock on the door, or when Zhizhen knocks on the door, Lori opens, and you see Gaki and Feng in there. Oh, hello. Good to. Did you come to check up on the kids?
Yeah, and I wanted to see if you were ever able to find their mom.
She just gives you a despondent look. We're still looking. We're still hopeful, but we haven't had luck yet.
Well, I know it's not much, but these are really hard times. And Jijin would give Lori whatever coin that he got from Mayor Bato, and say, "You use this to take care of the kids. Get them something nice. Get their spirits up."
Oh, thank you. This really means a lot. I was thinking about joining some of the others and heading to Zaofu. And
It might be for the best. Who knows what's going to happen in the coming days, so you need to get yourself and the kids safe.
well, this will definitely help out. Thank you. I appreciate it. We need more good souls like you in the world.
He would give a big grin and he says, "Well, I'm not that good, but this time."
Um, that feels like Zhizhen like shifting his balance towards friendship. Um, so
I
I
say so as well.
think that makes sense. All right.
I feel like I had a chance to shift towards results when I was going to let the platypus bears kill the military, but then I was shifted back towards restraint immediately by Jijin, getting me to seal up the game.
Um, uh, Sakshik, are you going to do anything before the dinner party?
Um,
You were invited. He talked about it at great length last night and this morning. Um,
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna make sure my white robes aren't dirty.
okay. Um, so I imagine you guys would also head back to tacos at some point.
Right. Yeah, it'd be so. I actually probably would only dirty myself up a little bit more when we're actually on the way, because I don't necessarily. I mean, granted, Takas has like a dirt floor, but I don't want to necessarily be like super dirty in Taka's place. But I do want to like make sure that I have like take a little bit of the water from the no TT so that I can like really get a good cake of mud on my shoes for when I go to the mayor's house.
Nice. So you got you are you're I think you're a success you find success in making yourself a very undesirable dinner guest. uh,
And I'm probably gonna have to like wrap it up pretty soon.
yeah. We're about to be done. Um, about you guys head over to the mayor's around 6:30 or so. So you guys have some downtime. Can rest up a bit. Uh, on your way to the mayor's, you pass back through the center of town, and at this point the crowd is dispersed, um, and it's getting dark, and you see, well, Gage, you see the faint glow, and Aura sees it stronger. But something catches your eye, and as you look closer, the plants have grown even bigger, and they've bloomed. And surrounding the eye, you see a bunch of black lotuses. And that's where we'll end the session. As we tackle the dinner party next episode.
Glad we were able to save that for Tony.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.